Hey everybody, so I'm getting ready to start a One Ring solo game. I recently opened up the starter set. You can go back and watch that video. And now it's time to make a character. Now, I've never made a One Ring character before, and I decided it might be interesting to do it just cold, record it, without having looked at the character creation process before, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm Tristan, this is Heroes and Homebrew. Let's make a One Ring character. I've never done this before, and so we're going to take it step by step and see how easy it is. And if you want to follow along at home, go right ahead. Alright, so page 28, your characters. 28. 19. I have a couple of character sheets I've printed out here. Your characters. To create a character, each player must first choose a heroic culture, selecting the one that is closest to the hero concept that they have in mind. Okay, well, I don't have a concept in mind, but I think we'll probably make a Ranger of the North, I think. So we have Bardings, Dwarves of Durin's Folk, Elves of Lindon, Hobbits of the Shire, Men of Bree, and Rangers of the North. Once they have made their choice, players refer to the appropriate heroic culture write-up page and follow the steps described below. Okay, so we're gonna make heroic. We're gonna make a Ranger of the North. So basically Aragorn. They are on page 42. So we're gonna put this here because we'll have to go back and forth, I think. Hobbits of the Shire, Men of Bree, Rangers of the North. Alright, the Rangers of the North are a secret people severely diminished in number with the passing of 1,000 years. They wander in disguise among the ruins of what was once their kingdom of Arnor, tirelessly patrolling its many paths and roads. While the years have lengthened, the task of the Rangers has always been the same, to keep the folk of Eriador? I can never pronounce token names properly. Free from care and fear. They labor secretly, keeping to themselves and rarely giving their names to the travelers they save or to the folk whose farms they guard at night when evil things come out from dark places. Alright, so here are the characteristics. They're the last descendants in the north of the Dunedain, kings among men that once came to Middle-earth over the sea out of Westernese. When they do not disguise their features, they are tall and lordly, towering over most men. Alright, so let's record the cultural blessing. Some say the lordship of the folk of Arnors is a thing of the past, yet the Rangers of the North have inherited the sinews of the men who wrested the ring from the burning hand of Sauron. Add 1 point to the attribute of your choice. Okay, so we have our attributes here. We have strength, heart, and wits. Attribute ratings. Strength, heart, and wits describe respectively the physical, spiritual, and mental profile of a character. These numerical scores are the primary building blocks of all heroes and describe their aptitudes and natural capabilities. Attribute TNs. During character creation, all players calculate 3 target numbers, TNs. Using a player hero's strength, heart, and wits, these scores are annotated on the relevant spaces on the character sheet. These TNs are used to take the attributes of a hero into account when resolving most roles. I'm guessing the point goes into the rating. Attributes. Choose one set of attributes or roll a success die. Alright, we are going to roll a success die. I just put it in strength. That was the extra point. Alright, here we have my dice box. Push those ones to the side. Let's get out our dice from the starter set. And roll a success die. So let's roll. Start with strength. So 4, not bad. So strength is 6. plus the 1 makes it a 7. Heart. Wait, choose one set of attributes. Oh, okay. So 6, 4, and 4. So heart is 4, wits is 4. So you roll on this chart, and whatever it is you get, those are the attributes you get. That is on page 42. Derive stats. Calculate the following scores based on your chosen attribute ratings. Endurance, strength plus 20. So strength plus 20 endurance, that's 27. Hope, heart plus 6, so that's a 10. And parry is wits plus 14, so that's 18. Now skills. Copy the listed skill ranks onto the character sheet, then choose one skill among the 2 underlined and mark it as favored. I'm guessing this box is for the favored, and these are the ratings. So awe is 1, athletics is 2, awareness is 2, hunting is 2, that's one of the underlined ones, song 0, craft 0, enhearten 0, travel 2, insight 0, healing 2, always like to see healing, always need that, courtesy 0, not much courtesy, 0, battle 2, persuade 0, stealth 2, scan 1, explore 2, riddle 0, and lore 2. Alright, so which one... So between hunting and lore, we're going to need to make one of these favored. You know what? I'm going to go with lore. There we go. That one's favored. Combat proficiencies. Copy the following combat proficiency ranks onto the character sheet, selecting a preferred proficiency when offered a choice. Spears or swords? 2. Swords. Choose one combat proficiency. Okay. Well, I think I need to go with ranged. Yeah, we'll go with bows. I just feel like that has to be done. Alright. Distinctive features. Choose 2 distinctive features among those listed. Bold, honorable, secretive, stern, subtle, swift, tall, true-hearted. Where is this? Ah, here we go. Choose 2. We're going to go with... let's say honorable and secretive. Languages and typical names. The native language of the Dunedain is the Westron, or common speech. Some still learn the Sindarin Elven tongue, as it is handed down from generation to generation. They retain an ancient tradition of naming their children using that fair speech. Okay, so here are the names. Adrahil. Actually, you know what? Let's roll a dice and see if we're a male or female. 1 to 3 male, 4 to 6 female. 2. Alright, so we're a male. Again, I'm going to be making multiple characters for this campaign, so we'll see how it goes. Just for this one, I decided to go randomly. Adrahil, Amalaith, Arvigil, See, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25. Cool. So let's roll. We'll roll a d20 and a d6, and we're just going to minus 1. So 19 minus 1 is 18. Herloon. Now, is there anything else for this? Let's see. Callings. Okay, let's go back to this part. Okay, so we recorded our cultural blessing. We determined our attributes. We calculated our strength, heart, and wits. Target numbers. Oh, each TN is equal to 20 minus its corresponding attribute score. Okay, so 20 minus its corresponding is 13, 16, and 16. There we go. Calculate your derived stats. Endurance, hope, and parry. That's done. Record your skill and combat proficiency ratings. We did that. Choose your distinctive features. Done. Name, age. Age. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I have a... Hold on. I have something we could use for age. Alright, I have a 30-sided die here. We'll just roll that. It'll be somewhere between 1 and 30. 24. That could have turned out really bad. I didn't think that all the way through. Cultural blessing is strength. Okay, answer the call to adventure. Players finalize their character creation process by moving on to page 44 and applying the steps described below. Alright, so page 44, we're going to do our calling. 44. Calling. Captain, champion, messenger, scholar, treasure hunter, warden. Let's roll a d6. Just to, keep it random. 1. Captain. Alright. Choose a calling. Spend previous experience points. Alright, so callings follows standard presentation. Favored skills, additional distinctive features, shadow path. Okay, so Captain. When the world is on the brink of ruin, it is the duty of all individuals of worth to rise and take the lead, whatever the risk. You have chosen to put your judgment to the service of others, to guide them in this dark hour, but you don't want others to heed your commands out of fear or obedience. You want them to follow you because they trust you. Choose 2 skills among battle, enhearten, and persuade, and mark them as favored. Since I don't have, I'll choose battle. I don't have any ranks in enhearten or persuade. I'll take enhearten, just to. Additional distinctive feature, leadership. You possess the ability to direct others to action when under pressure. Other people naturally turn to you for guidance. Shadow path is lure of power and leadership. So, shadow path, lure of power. When individuals are given a position of authority, either by rank, lineage, or stature, they may end up mistaking their own aggrandizement for the greater good of the people they should be guiding or keeping safe. Power is the quintessential temptation and provides the shadow with an easy way to win the hearts of those who desire it. Alright, cool. So, let's go back to here. Make sure that we've done everything we're supposed to do. So we chose our calling, spend previous experience points we didn't have. Choose your starting gear. and record your valor and wisdom. Alright. I guess we just keep going through here. Starting gear. Oh, previous experience. Okay. Found it. The ability levels of all newly created player heroes can now be raised to represent their experiences prior to their life as adventurers. That's interesting. I like that. Players have 10 points to spend on raising skills and combat proficiencies. The cost of raising each ability is shown in the two tables to the right. The first table gives the cost of skill points, while the second shows the cost for combat proficiencies. Okay, so we have 10. For example, a player wanting to go from lore 1 to lore 4 would spend a total of 10 points, 2 to raise the skill from 1 to 2, 3 from 2 to 3, and 5 from 3 to 4. Okay. So, in Hearten, I'm going to have to raise it 1. Because it's a favored one, so I'm going to raise it to 1. Oh, that's going to cost 6 points. From 1 to 2 will be 4. You know what? I'm going to raise bows from 1 to 2. So that's a total of 5 I've spent. Let's raise persuade from 0 to 1. And let's raise healing from 2 to 3. So it's 4 points I've used. Well, 9 points total. Let's make insight 1. There we go. That's done. Now, equipment. War gear. All heroes start their adventuring career fully equipped with all of the personal items and gear they consider best suited to a life on the road. In the game, such possessions are represented by an adventurer's war gear, traveling gear, and useful items. Well, how much do I get? Starting heroes can choose one weapon for each combat proficiency. Okay, cool. So I get a bow and a sword, for which they have a rating, and their preferred selection of armor, helms, or shields. Players should record their chosen weapons, armor, and shields on their character sheets, paying attention to the following notes. The protection score of a coat of armor is recorded separately from that of a helm, as sometimes during combat a hero might resort to dropping it to reduce the carried load and avoid becoming weary too soon. Shields do not offer direct protection, but make a hero less likely to be hit by providing a bonus to parry. Shield's rating is recorded separately from the main box devoted to parry, as a shield can be smashed by an opponent's blows. Alright, so we're going to go with a longsword. So longsword is damage 5, injury 16, and 18. So one-handed, two-handed. Load 3, one or two-handed. Alright, and then we want a bow. So it's damage 3, injury 14, load 2, ranged. I'm not going to write two-handed because obviously. Armor. You just get to pick, right? Like you don't have to spend money for this. It's just it looks like you just decide. Alright, cool. So let's say I'm not going to go crazy in the Ranger of the North. I think we're going to go with a leather corselet, protection 1D, and load 3. Oh, sorry, protection 2D, load 6. I was looking at leather shirt. I'll give him a helm. Helm plus 1D, load 4, and a buckler plus 1, load 2. Alright, adventure points, skill points, fellowship points, current endurance. Traveling gear, useful items. All player heroes start the game with a number of useful items based on their standard of living, according to the table below. No, what's my standard of living? If a player hero is making a roll outside of combat using a skill associated with a useful item, and the lore master deems that that doesn't apply to this. Oh, frugal, elves, rangers. Okay, so I get one item. Cool. So traveling gear, frugal. I get one item. I'm going to say he's got a blanket. Yeah, that's his. Oh, actually. The hero's traveling gear includes the belongings that adventurers carried when, excuse me, went on a journey, in addition to their weapons and armor. In winter, this includes boots and thick, warm clothes, a jacket, a fur-lined cloak, woolen hose, trousers, and blankets. During the warmer months, the adventurer may do away with the heaviest items and just include light clothes and cloaks. Traveling gear does not need to be annotated in detail on a character sheet, only if a player wishes to do so and is not given a load rating. So I got one. Okay, so the blanket doesn't count as useful items. But I do get to choose one extra useful item. What would I have? Oh, here we go. Some things like a hammer or a hunting knife, a coil of good rope, a lantern, a flint and steel to start a fire. I gotta say flint and steel. That works. That's good. I can make a torch out of random stuff. Gather company. Uh, Valor and wisdom scores at 1. Record your valor and wisdom scores at 1 and choose your starting reward and virtue. Okay. Valor and wisdom. Valor, wisdom. Rewards and virtue. Starting rewards. Page 79. And starting virtues. Alright, so let's roll for starting rewards. 5. Keen weapon attack rolls score a piercing blow on a 9+. Keen weapon piercing blow on 9+. And virtues. 1. Confidence. Raise hope by 2. Okay, where's my hope? Hope. So hope is 12. I'm going to put +2 there. Oh wait, what are my endurance? My load and stuff. Those 3, 5. So you have to figure out what this is. Endurance 27. Okay, so I think I can get up to 27 points. So 3, 5, 10, 15, 17. So my load is currently 17. I'm going to say this 10. Let's see, endurance. All right, let's look this up. See what the back of the book if it has. Should. Endurance. Endurance 69. Endurance represents a player or hero's resistance and is taken into account whenever an adventurer is subjected to some form of harm. In particular, player or heroes lose endurance during combat when they suffer physical damage from any other source or as a consequence of any strenuous task requiring great effort. Player heroes whose endurance is reduced to 0 drop unconscious and wake up after 1 hour with 1 endurance point. Players record their maximum endurance and hope values on their character sheet using the boxes found under the corresponding stats, while they use the current endurance and hope boxes to keep track of any changes that occur during play. Alternative players can track them using different colored counters or glass beads. Fatigue. Traveling causes the player heroes to accumulate fatigue points, representing a form of exhaustion caused by protracted loss of sleep and the general discomfort of spending days in the open. Fatigue enters play exclusively in conjunction with the rules for journeys. When gained, fatigue points temporarily raise a traveling player hero's total load, effectively making it easier to become weary. Shadow. Wondering if this is just stuff that comes into play during Shadow Paths. Shadow Points, 136. Okay, so shadow points come into play during the course of the game. So my current hope would be 12. I'm assuming your endurance, you minus your load from endurance. Let's check. Load 49. Oh, it was right in front of me the whole time. Selecting the right amount of things to carry is the first test of a hero's medal, and a light pack on a traveler's back is an indication of their experience in the trade. In game terms, the hindrance that carried items cause to an adventurer, both in terms of weight and discomfort, is represented by a load rating. Load is monitored only as far as war gear and treasure is concerned. All heroes are considered to carry without discomfort a reasonable amount of personal items and gear for a life on the road. Their traveling gear carried also with the help of their pack animals, see hobbit ponies and full-size horses. An adventurer can carry a total load up to the character's maximum endurance. So, 27. Since the endurance score determines when a hero starts getting tired, it is generally much wiser to keep that total lower than the maximum allowed. Players keep track of the hero's load score on their character sheets and must update it should it change during play. If they add or remove pieces of war gear or treasure to what the player hero normally carries, the load rating is immediately adjusted to reflect the increased or reduced burden. Yeah, so the load's right there. All right, cool. Now, is there anything else? Experience. The company. Choose a patron, choose a safe haven, determine the company's fellowship rating, choose the fellowship focuses. All right. Well, I don't really have a company yet, but how many are there? There's 6. Let's roll. We'll pick one. Unless there's a rule. The company starts the game choosing one patron among those listed, but additional ones may be added during the course of the game. Okay, so let's 6. So Tom Bombadil and Lady Goodberry. Well, my favorite callings. Fellowship points +2. So we'll just +2 for fellowship score there. Additional advantage: spend all your fellowship to call Tom or Goldberry's. Oh, it's Goldberry, not Goodberry. Goldberry's intervention anywhere in Tom's country. Agenda: protect the land, find and preserve what was buried. All right. Choose a safe haven. The Ariador, the ideal choice for a starting safe haven, is certainly the village of Bree, as it stands at the crossroads of the East Road and the North Road, and everyone who journeys across the land stops at the Prancing Pony for a pipe to smoke in comfort. All right, we'll go with Bree, just because. Why not? Is there a place to write safe haven on here? Safe haven, Bree. All right, cool. Next, fellowship rating. During the adventuring phase, player heroes can spend points of fellowship to recover points of hope when resting. A group of player heroes is more than a band of roving mercenaries brought together by mere necessity. That's very anti-D&D. At its foundation, communal goals and mutual respect. The feeling of trust is recreated in the game by the company's fellowship score, expressed by a numerical value. Fellowship is a pool of points shared among all player heroes that is mainly spent to recover lost confidence. Additionally, fellowship can be spent to trigger special effects tied to the company's patron. Starting fellowship score of the company is equal to the number of player heroes in the group. This value can be augmented by a number of virtues or cultural blessings and by a bonus associated with the company's patron. When all points have been used, the company cannot spend any more fellowship. Fellowship points are fully refreshed at the end of each gaming session. Okay, so fellowship points, you can just use them every game. Player heroes providing support to their fellowship focus make them game 2D instead of 1D. So right now, because he's by himself, his fellowship score is 3, because he's 1 plus 2. Skill points. All players gain 3 skill points each at the end of every game session. Okay, so and adventure points. All players receive 3 adventure points each at the end of every gaming session they attend. Cool. Raising in the air, creating the air. Okay, so we've done all this. I have flaws. So we have flaws down here. So what are the flaws? Where did that come in? Or do you just make it up? Flaws, 141. Using flaws. Every time heroes develop a flaw, they are renouncing their higher ambitions and embracing simpler, more primitive emotions. They are trading respect for arrogance, love for lust, trust for suspicion. Lore masters should take into account the effects of a flaw whenever the performance of a player hero can be made worse by it. If a player hero is using a skill that can plausibly be affected by a flaw, the role is made ill-favored. Okay, so I guess you don't start with a flaw. Unless secretive is the flaw. Yeah, no, you develop flaws. Okay. Look, there's going. Madness. Okay. So I don't think we need to worry about that stuff right now. That's during game. Right now, it looks like our character is complete. So we have Herlun. I'm going to look up how to pronounce that. I'll find Tolkien stuff. This is our character. I'll probably make other characters. But that was it. It's not too hard. When you have no idea what you're doing, then, it takes some flipping around, but it worked out pretty well. So that's it. The character's made. Ready to take them on a solo adventure using Strider mode. And we're going to explore the world of Middle Earth together and see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. So you'll see for me at your table.